in the background on the right. Even after Greece ceased to be a world power, Athens remained an international cultural center. 333. In 323 BCE, at 32 years of age, Alexander was stricken by malarial fever and died. By 301 BCE, 4 of his generals had established themselves in power. Ptolemy Lagus over Egypt and Palestine. Seleucus Nicator over Mesopotamia and Syria. Lysimachus over Thrace and Asia Minor. And Cassander over Macedonia and Greece. 7. 6. 8. 8. 11. 4 conquests of Alexander Root followed Aral Cblakasika Espia and Essia Pelagranicus River Sudas Isis Tyre Giaita Alexandria Memphis Nili Aretsi Jerusalem Damascus Tgrisrivia Iabara Tsriver Gorgamala Babylon Shushan Persepolis Ecbatana Taxila Alexandria Esade Ndus Rivi Erin Dia Nocia Npec and Gulfcia Ssa Ndia Pelalizimakia Blcksia Lysimachus Giatsia Seleucus Nicator Antosh Seleucia Persingulf Ptolemy Lagus Alexandria Edessia. Greek games, such as these shown on a relief found in Athens, were associated with Greek religion and promoted Hellenism. A gymnasium established in Jerusalem thus corrupted Jewish youths, a ceramic platter showing a pig being sacrificed. In a vicious attempt to defile and to stamp out the worship of Jehovah, Antiochus IV Epiphanes made such a sacrifice on an altar built over the large one in Jehovah's temple in Jerusalem, and then dedicated the temple to Zeus, coin bearing the likeness of Antiochus IV Epiphanes. Ancient Corinth. Christians in the 1st century congregation here had to contend with the influence of Greek philosophy and the morally corrupting practices of its religion. The philosopher Plato, of the 4th century BCE, did much to propagate the Greek notion of immortality of the soul. The Alexandrine manuscript, in Greek, of the 5th century CE. Most of the Christian Greek scriptures was originally written in Koine, the common Greek. Mark, Good News according to 337. Mark, Good News according to the divinely inspired record of the ministry of Jesus Christ written by John Mark. This account of the good news about Jesus Christ begins with the work of Christ's forerunner, John the Baptizer, and concludes with a report of the circumstances surrounding Jesus' resurrection. Hence, it covers the time from the spring of 29 to the spring of 33 CE. Mr. 1. 1. This Gospel, the shortest of all 4, is a rapid, moving and descriptive record of the ministry of Jesus Christ as the miracle-working Son of God. Frequent is the use of immediately or at once. Mr. 1. 10, 12, 18, 21, 29. The account is almost evenly divided between conversation and action. Source of information. Ancient tradition indicates that Peter provided the basic information for Mark's Gospel, and it would agree with the fact that Mark was associated with Peter in Babylon. 1 Pe 5. 13. According to Origen, Mark composed his Gospel in accordance with Peter's instructions. The Ecclesiastical History, Eusebius, 6, XXV, 3-7. In his work, Against Marcion IV, v. Tertullian says that the Gospel of Mark may be affirmed to be Peter's, whose interpreter Mark was. The Ante-Nicene Fathers, Volume 3, p. 350. Eusebius gives the statement of John the Presbyter as quoted by Papias c. 140 CE. And the presbyter used to say this: Mark became Peter's interpreter and wrote accurately all that he remembered, not, indeed, in order, of the things said or done by the Lord. Mark did nothing wrong in thus writing down single points as he remembered them. For to one thing he gave attention, to leave out nothing of what he had heard and to make no false statements in them. The Ecclesiastical History, 3, XXXIX, 12-16. John Mark evidently also had other sources of information. Since Jesus' early disciples met in the home of his mother, Act 12. 12. Mark must have been acquainted with persons other than Peter who had known Jesus Christ well, individuals who had seen him doing his work and had heard him preach and teach. Probably being the certain young man whom those arresting Christ tried to seize, but who got away naked, Mark himself was apparently not totally without personal contact with Jesus. Mr. 14. 51, 52. Evidently written with non-Jews in mind. While the Good News according to Mark would interest and benefit Jewish readers, apparently it was not written specifically for them. It seems to have been composed primarily for non-Jewish readers, especially the Romans. Its conciseness and abrupt character have been viewed as particularly suitable for the intellect of Roman readers. Latin terms are sometimes transliterated into Greek, as when the Greek word (on) is used for the Latin term praetorium. Mr. 15. 16. And also, the Greek word ken(I) is employed for the Latin word centurio, an officer in command of 100 soldiers. Mr. 15. 39. Int. The account contains explanations that would not have been necessary for Jewish readers. It indicates that the Jordan was a river and shows that the temple could be seen from the Mount of Olives. Mr. 1. 5. 13. 3. It mentions that the Pharisees practiced fasting, and that the Sadducees say there is no resurrection. 2. 18. 12. 18. This gospel also explains that the Passover victim was sacrificed on the first day of unfermented cakes, and that preparation was the day before the Sabbath. 14. 12. 15. 42. Whereas it